Welcome to Straight Shot. Marketing is everywhere. It's around your life, from what you eat to what you wear and where you go. It is a vital part of any and all business. Let's discuss the world of marketing and business as it influences everyday life with the staff of Atlanta marketing agency Reformation Productions and guests as they give it to us straight. Get ready. Take aim. Steady. Welcome to Straight Shot.
To Straight Shot Marketing Podcast, where we discuss how marketing impacts everyday life. Today,
it's an exciting day.
Today we're discussing Game of Thrones. It started off as a book series written by George R.R. Martin, and it became a TV show on HBO, and now is a fashion statement. It is a cultural phenomenon, and I have no problem looking ridiculous. Zachary, you are also wearing...
I am wearing my Targaryen / House Stark Game of Thrones shirt.
Spoiler!
So, Jon Snow. The Jon Snow shirt. That's what I'm wearing.
The difference between Zachary and myself is mine's a costume, his is a Thursday shirt. So, anyways, I think I'll ditch this, so... Better?
There you go.
That thing was heavy. That's real chainmail.
Yeah.
There is a person on our staff that actually owns this getup. Shout out to Braden.
Does he wear it every Thursday?
He does. It's his Thursday thing. And I was like, hey, since, we're doing this podcast, do you think I could borrow your Thursday outfit? And he's all like, okay. So now he's sitting in his underwear in his cubicle.
So now you can joust.
I can. This is actually like plated. So, give it to me. Bring it. I'm just kidding. I'd still run away. Okay, let's get back to Game of Thrones, shall we? I know everybody's really excited about hearing about it. And Game of Thrones has taken the world by storm, and its growing popularity does not seem to be slowing down at all. Record-breaking viewership.
Yes.
Regularly cleans up during award seasons. It's the Emmy's second most successful TV show of all time, behind Saturday Night Live.
And
probably the older episodes.
And Saturday Night Live goes up and down, but I guess they have won more Emmys over time.
And then, whether you've even watched it or not, some people are fans. They'll watch it every day. Some people have never seen an episode.
Well, you've had an issue with you specifically with started watching it and then you stopped.
It was a little much.
Yes.
A little much too much in the first season. I usually have a rule where I don't watch TV shows that have to do with deceased children or animals. And
Game of Thrones has both.
Incest. So, those are just blanket things that I look out for in movies, and it seemed to cover that all in the first episode. So, but anyway, whether you've watched the show or not, I'm sure everybody has heard of it. Everybody's heard of this little tiny show called Game of Thrones. And based on the novel series by George R.R. Martin, Game of Thrones showcases several families from different kingdoms as they plot and scheme and poison each other to sit on the Iron Throne.
For the throne!
Dun, dun, dun. You need to insert the dun, dun, dun. One of the reasons it was hard to ignore was because of the massive marketing initiative by HBO to build as much awareness as possible, and by major brands in turn to capitalize on it.
Yes.
It's like a marketing powerhouse. It is since it has such a unique theme and such a cool theme, it was fun to use for marketing because it's very noticeable. It stands out. It's very specific. Something that is called, wait for it, trend marketing or newsjacking. That's the term for it, newsjacking. Now, newsjacking is what happens when brands piggyback off the day's biggest news stories or draw trends that draw attention to their own content. So we had another example of this when the Nike Kaepernick episode that we did sometime
That's right,
back.
because
we did a podcast on the Nike Kaepernick thing.
The Kaepernick controversy was in the news, and Nike capitalized on it.
And then memes, and then other people started to capitalize on it. And now Game of Thrones did it again, but this time it's like a whole new level. I mean, Game of Thrones is...
Yep.
Sorry, Colin Kaepernick. That Game of Thrones came along and wiped you off the map. So anyway, Zachary, talk to me a little bit more and everybody about newsjacking and what that really means.
Well, there are several different elements that really kind of stand out to me as far as Game of Thrones related marketing. One is that Zachary Interland, the executive VP of program marketing at HBO, has said that he felt he had an enormous sense of responsibility to celebrate what was arguably the best show in the history of television.
Wow.
Now, he said that because he's with HBO.
You know, he might have a stake in that game.
But best or not, it is extremely popular.
Super, yeah.
And so he felt like as HBO, they had a responsibility to help others to celebrate the show, which is a very unique and smart way to attack that issue of everybody trying to glom onto what they're doing. Some people would have, wanted licensing for this and that and really choked it down and said, hey, this is our copyright, you can't do everything. He looked at it in a completely different way and has allowed or encouraged others in a respectful way to market themselves and Game of Thrones at the same time. So that attitude and that foresight to know that what that would do for the show was very, very smart.
It's like if you can't beat them, join them mentality.
Right. Now, this is often done by co-branding, but Zach has allowed an almost unbridled newsjacking or trend marketing because it kept Game of Thrones in the news and as a trend in our culture. So in its essence, newsjacking or trend marketing is next level, time-sensitive co-branding. We've talked about co-branding before. It is like co-branding next level. Now, because most brands don't have too much in common with mythical kingdoms and ice zombies and dragons, it's been great to see just how creative agencies could be with coming up with campaigns that would be both relevant to their own brand and to Game of Thrones at the same time. Not an easy task when, you have even this cup would not fit into the Game of Thrones world. So trying to figure out how do you put a modern product and theme. It's been very interesting to see how they've creatively done that. So what I want to do is I want to kind of take a few moments and go through and look at some of them, talk about some of them.
Let's do it.
All right.
I always enjoy the co-branding commercials. I think they're kind of cool because if you're a fan, you can spot some of the little, Easter eggs that may be in this show. But, you might be able to see some of the little Easter eggs that are present in some of these co-branding commercials. And, to people that watch the show, to people that don't watch the show, you get it. It's Game of Thrones. There's a dragon, blah, blah, blah. But for the people that do watch the show, there might even be a different, another level of geekdom to be had.
There's more that you can get out of it. Let's start off with Oreo. Now, Oreo has been America's favorite cookie.
I'm sorry, I'm just a boy girl. Come on.
I don't know if other people are aware or remember, but Oreo is known for jumping in on pop culture events, and Game of Thrones, no exception. And I think they did a really great job with how they co-branded with it. Now, what they've done is they've made limited edition cookies that represent each of the families in Game of Thrones. So they have House Lannister cookie, House Stark, and they have House Targaryen. Now, are there other houses in the Game of Thrones? Well, there used to be 7. But when the cookies came out, we had kind of gone through knocking out some of the other ones. So
and we're not eating a Lannister cookie.
But
nobody eats a Lannister cookie. No, we don't. If you've ever seen the show, you know why you shouldn't eat the Lannister cookie.
Shame. Shame. All right, anyway. So they did, however, make Night King and White Walker cookies as well. So let's see what they did to promote these limited edition cookies using Game of Thrones.
Let's do it.